We're winning, folks. Today we're diving deep into everything XRP, and it couldn't be more real. Just the other day I was talking with my son. I told him, if you're aiming for greatness, get ready to take on tons of criticism. I've taken my fair share over the years, both from inside and outside the XRP space. Still, I never lost sight of my belief in XRP, honestly. I couldn't even tell you how many fellow XRP creators gave up and vanished. Some just stopped believing, but I never walked away. I stayed in this because I always knew what I had. And to those of you out there who stayed strong, major respect. It hasn't always been smooth sailing. There were tough moments, times when staying optimistic felt almost impossible. So here's a virtual toast to everyone who held on to their belief. Even if you've stumbled along the way, now you see what we've been talking about all along. Every time the market moves like this, my phone blows up. People want to know what I'm into. And look, I'm not giving financial advice here, but if you ask me, I'm fully locked in on XRP right now. For close friends, I do share a short list. The digital assets I believe will become the backbone of the future U.S. financial system. We'll be going over that list today in our group. If you want in, head over to diexrp.com and join via Patreon. Hit the join button below this video, or connect through X now. One of the biggest stories just dropped. President Trump is reportedly gearing up to unlock the $9 trillion U.S. retirement market, giving access to Bitcoin and crypto. That's huge. See, the 401k game has been stacked for years. You get hired at a company, and you're funneled into this cookie-cutter investment plan that's built to benefit Wall Street, not you. I used to be a financial advisor at Morgan Stanley. I've seen the inner workings. Right now, the crypto market is around $3.8 trillion, the biggest it's ever been. But this retirement shift, it's $9 trillion we're talking about. Opening up that kind of access to everyday investors is nothing short of historic. And keep in mind, this is just one part of what's unfolding right now. There's news dropping that President Trump is reportedly preparing to sign an executive order this week that could completely change the game. It would allow 401k retirement accounts to include crypto investments. That means the door could swing wide open to $9 trillion in retirement capital, giving investors the option to explore alternatives like digital assets. Now think about this. Even if just $1 trillion of that flows into crypto, the total market jumps to around $4.8 trillion. That's the kind of momentum that transforms the entire space. It creates a multiplier effect. And yes, XRP is absolutely part of that equation. This impact won't just touch XRP, but many quality digital assets as well. But here's the thing, and I've said this before, when that money starts flowing in, it's not going into meme coins or random tokens. It's going to be the established blue-chip cryptos that financial advisors and institutions trust, the ones with real use cases, the ones they can recommend with confidence. Just a quick reminder, folks. With Trump potentially opening up the U.S. retirement market to crypto investments, this isn't breaking news for everyone. We've been ahead of the curve for years. It's exactly why I partnered with iTrust Capital, one of my longtime sponsors and hands down the biggest name in crypto IRAs. I'm pretty sure they're the largest provider globally now. When I first got involved with them, they were just getting started, but now they've grown into a powerhouse. Personally, I've got IRAs with them, including their premium custody option, and yes, my XRP is securely held there too. We're talking about institutional-grade custody on both accounts. And the best part? Only a 1% trading fee? It's incredibly user-friendly, and honestly, it's one of my top 2 favorite platforms for storing crypto. If you're interested, you can check them out at itrustcapital.com/XRP Army. And don't forget to use the promo code XRP6. That'll get you a $100 funding bonus when you open an account. I've already set up my strategy for when it's time to make an exit, and I hope you've got yours lined up too. Now, let's talk numbers. Yesterday, XRP hit around $3.57, and it's time we address the obvious. Bitcoin gets all the media love, but the performance tells a different story. In the past 7 days, Bitcoin is up just 0.9%, while XRP is up 31%. Over the last 30 days, Bitcoin gained 13%, but XRP surged 59%. Zoom out to the past quarter, and Bitcoin's up 40%, while XRP outpaced it with 66%. And over the last year, Bitcoin is up 86%, but XRP skyrocketed 532%. So yeah, let that sink in. To all the doubters out there, XRP just set a new all-time high yesterday. That's right. We're officially one day past its peak. Now, there's been some debate around the exact number. Some folks claim the previous all-time high was $3.84, but that price came from South Korean exchanges, which were often inflated. Others argue it was closer to $3.40-ish, but honestly, who cares? The real takeaway here is this. XRP has broken through, and we're only getting started. We're not stopping at a few dollars. We're looking much further ahead. Of course, even Bitcoin maxis are starting to notice. They always come crawling out of the shadows when things shift, and if they've got any sense at all, they're finally seeing what's right in front of them. The level playing field has arrived. It's not coming. It's here. Now that the Clarity Act has officially landed, or at least that's the word, the game has changed. XP recently hit $3.59, and people are asking who's buying at that price. Let me break it down for you in plain English. The era of Bitcoin's regulatory advantage is over. That store of value narrative is no longer untouchable. Now it's got to compete head-to-head with real technology assets that have utility, scalability, and superior infrastructure. The days of ignoring function in favor of hype are done. You know, XRP was built to be the better version of Bitcoin, and now it's finally starting to prove it. Even Eric Trump is catching the momentum. He tweeted by the dips back in February, and now he's retweeting it with like he knew this moment was coming all along. So yeah, I quoted him by the dips. Look what just happened. Breaking. XRP has officially surpassed $200 billion in market cap after pumping 12% in just the last 24 hours. We're not just talking momentum anymore. This is history in real time. XRP just shot to the top, ranking number 1 in 24-hour trading volume on Coinbase, racking up a massive $1.38 billion in trades. It's not hype, that's dominance. And this is the moment we've been waiting for. This is why it's all happening. Just yesterday, the Genius Act officially passed through the House after already clearing the Senate. Now it's heading straight to Trump's desk for signing, possibly as soon as today. And let me tell you something from experience. Fridays are built for bull runs. I'm fully expecting a wild Friday night, glass of wine in hand, watching XRP climb. Oh, and let's not forget the Clarity Act. That also just passed the House. From what I understand, it now heads to the Senate, and if they approve it, or tweak it and send their version back, we're one step closer to it landing on the president's desk too. Either way, things are moving fast. The rails are being laid, and XRP is riding the wave. Now look, I'm not a legislator. I don't pretend to be. But Brad Garlinghouse weighed in with some powerful words that really put this moment into perspective. He pointed out that the last major financial regulatory bill was passed over 15 years ago, following the 2008 crisis, and now, with the signing of the Genius Act, the U.S. is planting its flag as a leader in cutting-edge financial innovation, especially in areas like stablecoins and next-gen digital infrastructure. Brad called this a truly historic moment, and I couldn't agree more. He said he's excited for what's ahead and that this legislation is a turning point for the entire industry. He also made sure to thank the lawmakers who helped push this forward, and honestly, credit where credit is due. This is the kind of clarity we've been waiting for. And here's something cool. Eleanor Tarrant is reportedly attending the official signing ceremony for the Genius Act today. She even shared what looks like an official invite from the president himself. The signing is scheduled for 2:30 p.m. today, and yes, this is really happening. Another huge moment in this timeline we've all been waiting for. Michael Arrington, who happens to be one of Brad Garlinghouse's closest friends, has put it perfectly. XRP is just showing off at this point, and honestly, I don't even think it started showing off yet. This is just the warm-up. And then we've got Charles Hoskinson dropping the truth about what's coming next. He said it loud and clear. Nothing's going to stop this train. Crypto is heading toward a $10 trillion market, and most of that capital will be based Right here in the US, this is happening, and we've got to get it done. Remember what Bo Haynes from the White House Advisory Council said? It's just the stablecoin legislation alone could bring in $10 to $15 trillion. And that's just the starting line. Meanwhile, poor Dave Portnoy, wait till you hear what he said. This is exactly what happens when you just start throwing money into crypto without truly understanding the fundamentals of what you're investing in, especially with a project like XRP. So I'm winding down for the night, getting ready to head to bed. And I see this clip. Now, he's a smart guy, no denying that. But he came out and said, "I've got to be honest with my audience. I have a confession." He admitted he sold his XRP when it hit $2.40 because someone close to him, the same person who told him to buy, advised him to exit. Apparently, they were concerned about Circle becoming a competitor and weren't happy with how things were unfolding. But since that sale, XRP's up another 60%. Would have made millions. He would have made millions. And now, he's out. Completely. Doesn't hold a single XRP, even though he once called himself the leader of the XRP Army. Kinda reminds me of when BitBoy crowned himself too. Alright folks, here's something no one's really talking about. Mark Fogel, former SEC insider, and someone who's been known to go to bat for the agency, just weighed in. And here's what he said from his own first-hand experience. The SEC often makes filings the same day they get authorization to vote. But, and here's the key, he also added that there's currently no reason to believe the Ripple appeal dismissal is on the SEC's calendar today. That doesn't mean it's not happening. It just means it could happen at any time in the coming weeks. It's coming. And let's be real, there are so many shoes left to drop for XRP. A possible ETF, this appeal decision, and more. Don't forget, Bank of America, a longtime Ripple partner, now has the green light to jump in. Their CEO told Monica Long, they're all in after seeing where things are headed, especially with Trump back in the mix. It's coming, folks. And I'll wrap with this because it's important. Here's Caitlin Long breaking it down, explaining why all of this matters so much. This isn't just about crypto versus the banks. It's about the entire financial system shifting, and right now, crypto is winning. When asked if this victory feels inevitable, she said yes, absolutely. And here's why. At the core of all this, the US government isn't just regulating, it's solving a problem. The country is dealing with massive fiscal deficits, and it needs to create demand for people to buy US treasuries. And guess what? The crypto industry, even without formal permission, has built an entirely new market of treasury buyers. What Congress and the Trump administration are leaning into? Unlocking the crypto sector to support the system in a way the banks never expected. So what does this mean for the future? Caitlin's firm, Custodier Bank, filed for a patent on bank-issued stablecoins back in 2020, and it was approved in 2022. Now she's watching major bank CEOs publicly announce that they're coming for that same market. Meanwhile, her team's already preparing to defend against patent infringements. This is a high-stakes collision, banks versus non-banks, and the stablecoin legislation is aimed squarely at non-banks. But the million-dollar question now is, will the Fed allow traditional banks to tokenize their assets, or will they get left behind? And here's the real question. Will banks be allowed to tokenize deposits too? Because whichever way that goes, it's going to shape the entire market. Let's not forget, banks still originate the majority of payments in the US, in fact. As we discussed a couple weeks ago, JP Morgan and Wells Fargo alone handle over half of all ACH payment volume. But my belief, most of that is going to be disrupted by blockchain tech. It's coming. Now, if you want to go deeper, we're jumping over to diexrp.com and into the Patreon. If you'd rather join via YouTube, just click the join button below this video. Or if you're on X, hit subscribe. In today's extended video, I'm revealing my top 12 picks if I were building a portfolio to invest in the infrastructure of the new digital economy. These would be the ones, and yes, XRP is absolutely one of them. Right now, I'm basically all in on XRP. I've got a tiny sprinkle of Bitcoin, just a spattering, as Raoul Pal would say. But honestly, even that might get converted into more XRP soon. As always, I'm not a financial advisor. This content is for entertainment and educational purposes only. If you got value from this, Subscribe, hit the like button, and share this video with friends and family. Let's ride this wave together.